Welcome back to our Critical Compliance series. In this session, I will discuss the latest in a series of recent U.S. government issuances concerning voluntary self-disclosures, or VSDs, the Tri-Seal Compliance Note by DOJ, Treasury OFAC, and the Commerce Department Bureau of Industry and Security. I will also discuss the reasons why companies should pay attention to this bellwether and gird themselves for upcoming enforcement activity, including intrusive criminal investigations. As we outlined in a recent advisory, on July 26, 2023, the U.S. Departments of Justice, Commerce, and Treasury published a joint, or Tri-Seal, compliance note, setting forth each department's respective VSD policies that apply to potential violations of U.S. sanctions, export controls, and other national security laws. This compliance note underscores that U.S. companies, particularly those engaged in international trade and finance, play a, quote, critical role in identifying threats from malicious actors and helping to protect our national security. The key takeaways from the latest policy announcement are that, to count, VSDs must be prompt, constitute full cooperation, as defined by the government, contain mandatory remediation, that compliance both before and after a violation will be scrutinized by the government, and that there will be no forum shopping. A disclosure to one agency will not count as a disclosure for all. If this all sounds familiar to you, you're right. So what is actually new here? The context. First, we are seeing unprecedented cooperation between and among these agencies, including DOJ, Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Security, and Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control on both administrative and criminal cases, and less of a distinction between those two categories from an investigative standpoint. Second, we're seeing DOJ's evaluation of corporate compliance programs continue to expand to cover new areas. In fact, DOJ's National Security Division, NSD, has now entered the corporate compliance business and is flooding that space with resources and messaging. Third, DOJ's NSD has announced a surge of prosecutorial resources aimed directly at corporations, including by creating a new Chief Counsel for National Security Corporate Enforcement and hiring 25 additional prosecutors. Those prosecutors will be working with Commerce and Treasury, issuing subpoenas in matters deemed more serious than just inadvertent administrative mistakes that trip a wire. There's also now the Disruptive Technology Strike Force, which draws members from DOJ, BIS, the FBI, Homeland Security, and 14 United States Attorney's offices across the country. The strike force's main focus is to target illicit actors, strengthen U.S. supply chains, and protect critical technologies from being acquired by U.S. adversaries. Companies should take note that since October of 2022, roughly 2/3 of DOJ's major corporate resolutions have implicated U.S. national security. No industry can avoid needing to consider these issues as they pertain to where they do business, with whom, and by what means. The bottom line is that the U.S. government is looking to prosecute corporate national security cases. An increasingly complex operational and enforcement environment demands an ever more sophisticated approach to voluntary self-disclosures. Companies should be focused on uncovering issues before they become problems and addressing problems in a comprehensive manner that gets at root causes and minimizes governmental interest. For more on this and other export control and sanctions topics, visit arnoldporter.com and stay tuned for more in our Critical Compliance series.